Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio. Today I'm going to attempt a Mondrian style little painting in my art journal. I watched a fellow a few months ago on YouTube, and he does like challenges. He'll tell you about an artist and have you try to recreate something in that style. And I will link him down below if I can remember who he is. But he did Mondrian the time I watched, and I'm not really into the grids and lines and squares like he has, but I wanted to try it, and I've seen some of his work, and he started out more realistic, and then he did ones that were like the Gray Tree series or the Tree series, and they were somewhat abstract. I'll insert one here so that you can see what I'm talking about. And I kind of like that one. It's a little bit more subtle, not the hard, rigid lines. But I read a little bit more about him or listened to stuff about him on YouTube. And apparently some of his grid patterns with their red, yellow, and blue and white squares represent places, which I didn't know that before. Like this one, I'll show you next. This one, it's titled Trafalgar Square. So that's supposed to represent something. So I decided my grid pattern would represent something as well. So I found a photo of St. Mark's Square in Venice. I don't have a photo of the exact section that I did. I just picked a real simple like corner area and just translated everything into rectangles. Sorry, I didn't save the photo, and it's Google. It's not mine. I can't show it. Hopefully those photos of Mondrian's won't get me in trouble. Anyway, so I thought I would try that, and I decided to use just some off-white colors. Like I've got a light gray there, and one that's called Parchment, and one that's called Titan Buff, and then I've got white. And so to begin with, I decide I'm gonna just fill all the squares with these neutral, subtle colors. That was my original idea. And maybe I'll see if I can speed this up just a tad. Alright, so this is faster, because that's a lot of little squares to fill up with paint. Anyway, so what should we talk about? Mondrian. He did not use paint straight out of the tube. He always mixed his paints. Even though he used primarily red, yellow, blue, and then white. They were mixed colors. And black, of course, for his lines and stuff. But, yeah, never straight out of the tube. At least that's what I've been told. It would be interesting to see one of his paintings up close. They say he studied the page before even putting the first line down, and it was never some sort of random grid pattern. It had purpose. I thought that was interesting. Anyway, so the area that I'm doing is where it's a corner. There's like the St. Mark's, I think it's St. Mark's Cathedral or whatever, and then, which is that gray section I'm doing right now, and then a wall going the other direction, slightly at an angle, going behind it. So I'm trying to differentiate those two sections to make them look like they're two different buildings. But like I said, this is all completely abstract, and if you don't see it, you don't have to see it. And I know with his later paintings he was real rigid and not as free-flowing, messy, in other words, as I am with this, but painting little squares is not my thing. It's not my thing. And so I also didn't want harsh black lines. I wanted black lines, but not harsh. So I am taking my Stabilo All and getting it wet and then drawing the lines that way. It makes them a little bit messier. They kind of bleed. I am wiping off the ruler between each line so that it doesn't smear everywhere. But it'll give it a more organic feel. I think it'll feel more like in the style of the trees that he did, which were more curvy lines and not as many straight lines. Which I will have a few curvies in here eventually, because you know, in Venice they have a lot of arched doorways in Italy, so those will come into place eventually. This does get a little sloppy, maybe a little too sloppy, but I kind of like it. Sorry, that was my computer telling me I have something I need to do. Trying to do these lines systematically so that I don't have to set the ruler on top of anything that is wet. I did dry it, and now we're doing the other direction. The smaller sections, anyway. And I'm trying to see my lines under my paint. Some of the sections I painted the same color because they really were the same sort of thing. And again, I am taking it to the side and wiping it. But I think my fingers are getting a little bit dark. And here I just got tired. Ruler, I'm just going to draw those lines. They won't be perfect, but oh well. And then here we go. Here's the arches. So it sat like that for a little while, and then I'm like, well, maybe I could just put really light red, yellow, and blue in there. So you have to tell me if you liked it before I added these colors or after I added the colors. Does it look more like a Mondrian after? Does it even look like a Mondrian? Probably not. In fact, this guy, I will try and find his YouTube channel so I can link it in case you're interested. Because he does these and then he invites you to email him your creation, and then he does like a video showing everybody's artworks, everybody that created something. He didn't show mine. Haven't decided if it didn't go to the right email address, I sent it too late, or he really thought I was off my rocker and it doesn't look like Mondrian at all. See, I start to get brave as I start adding this color, and I add bigger and bigger sections of color. I got a little smeary spot there, I gotta fix that. I was trying to decide which color it was. I think it was parchment. Maybe parchment and white. So anyway, if you're liking this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Yes, I decided to make some lines a little thicker. I get braver and bolder. In fact, I think I add some scribbly writing on here. But I did that after, yeah, that writing, after I sent him the picture. Just had to make it mine, right? Anyways, thank you all for watching. Have a great day.